Imagine coming home one day and noticing something is off. Maybe an object is slightly out of place, or you hear a faint noise you can't quite identify. You brush it off, thinking it's just your imagination. But what if it's not? What if someone was secretly living in your home right above your head for months, and you had no idea? It sounds like the plot of a horror movie, but for one university student in Greensboro, North Carolina, this terrifying scenario became a reality. This is the chilling story of what happened at the Province apartment complex, a place that, on the surface, looked like any other student housing community. Our story begins with a student we'll call Maddie. Maddie and her roommates started noticing strange things happening in their apartment. Clothes would go missing from their closets only to turn up in bizarre places. They'd find handprints on the bathroom walls that didn't belong to any of them. They were confused, a little creeped out, but they tried to rationalize it. Maybe they were just being forgetful. Maybe it was a quirky old apartment. They even joked that they had a ghost. Little did they know, the truth was far more disturbing. One afternoon, Maddie came home and heard a noise coming from her closet. A rattling sound. Her heart started pounding. She called out, thinking maybe it was one of her roommates. No answer. She cautiously approached the closet, her mind racing. Was it a raccoon? A squirrel? She slowly opened the door. Nothing seemed out of place at first. But then she looked up, and she saw him. A man, wearing her clothes, was staring down at her from a small opening in the ceiling that led to the attic. The man was later identified as Andrew Swafford. He wasn't a ghost. He was a real person who had been secretly living in their attic for an unknown amount of time, possibly months. He had been coming down into their apartment when they were out, or even when they were sleeping, helping himself to their food, their drinks, and even their clothes. The missing items, the strange handprints, the unsettling feeling of being watched, it all suddenly made a horrifying kind of sense. Maddie and her roommates were, of course, terrified. They had been sharing their home with a stranger, an intruder who had full access to their lives without their knowledge. They immediately called the police, and Swafford was arrested. But the psychological impact of this event lingered long after he was taken away. How do you ever feel safe in your own home again after something like that? The sense of security, the very idea of a home as a private sanctuary, was shattered. The initial reaction from many was disbelief. How could someone live in an attic for months without being discovered? Well, student apartment complexes can be busy, transient places. People come and go. Maintenance issues might be common. Swafford had apparently found a way to access the attic space that connected several apartments. It was a perfect hiding spot, dark and rarely accessed. He could move around, observe, and descend into the apartments when he knew the residents were away at class or out for the night. The girls later recalled all the strange occurrences that, in hindsight, were massive red flags. They remembered hearing faint footsteps above them, whispers they couldn't quite make out, and even a soft thud every now and then. They had dismissed it all as the normal sounds of an old building or noisy neighbors. They even put notes on their fridge asking their ghost to pay rent if it was going to use their stuff. It is a chilling detail that shows how they tried to normalize the inexplicable things happening around them. When the police investigated, they found a small makeshift living space Swafford had created for himself in the attic. He had a sleeping bag, some empty food containers, and a collection of the girls' belongings. He had essentially been camping out above their bedrooms. The police report stated that he had been watching them, learning their schedules, and becoming familiar with their daily routines. This wasn't a random act. It was a sustained and terrifying violation of their privacy. The management of the Province apartments faced a lot of questions. How did this happen? Why weren't the attics secure? The incident exposed a major security flaw. In response, they changed the locks on the girls' apartment and assured them they would check the security of other units. But for Maddie and her roommates, it was too little, too late. They couldn't stay there. They broke their lease and moved out, unable to shake the feeling of being constantly watched. This story serves as a terrifying reminder that we should always trust our instincts. Those small, seemingly insignificant feelings of unease can sometimes be our subconscious picking up on real danger. If something feels off in your home, it's worth investigating. Check your locks, be aware of your surroundings, and never dismiss strange noises or occurrences as just your imagination. The girls in this story were lucky that Swafford was discovered before anything more serious happened, but it's a stark warning about the hidden dangers that can exist where we least expect them. The phenomenon of frogging, as it's sometimes called, secretly living in someone else's home, is incredibly rare, but it does happen. It preys on our most basic need for safety and security. It turns our sanctuary into a source of fear. The Greensboro attic case is one of the most well-documented modern examples, and it went viral for a reason. It taps into a primal fear that most of us share. The idea that while you're sleeping soundly in your bed, a stranger could be just a few feet away, hidden in the shadows of your own home. After his arrest, Andrew Swafford faced multiple charges, including breaking and entering. It was revealed he had a criminal history, which made the situation even more alarming. The question that remains is, why? What motivates someone to do this? Is it desperation, a mental health crisis, or something more sinister? We may never know Swafford's true motivations, but his actions left a permanent scar on the lives of the young women whose home he invaded. Their story is a powerful cautionary tale. It highlights the importance of situational awareness and taking even the smallest security concerns seriously. It also makes you think twice about that strange noise you hear late at night. Is it just the house settling? Or is it something else? Thank you for watching. If you found this story as chilling as I did, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into unbelievable true stories. Stay safe out there.